The next talk is about a challenge that an executive manager will face if he wants to spread the culture of entrepreneurship within an institution. The next talk will be given by Mr. Tim Hayden, and it's entitled Leveraging the Center for Entrepreneurship to Change the Educational Ecosystem.
So my name is Tim Hayden. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate you all inviting us on in to kind of talk about what we have going on at St. Louis University. So by day, I oversee the Center for Entrepreneurship. I am the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship. By evening, I'm an adjunct professor. Adjunct being, I really don't have any letters behind my name to support the actual professor side of things. Instead, I'm more of a doer. Then that takes me, by day and by night, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So in the last 10 years, I've started 7 businesses. 2 of them are still going. So as we're kind of talking about risk of failure, mitigating risk, thank you, we really do understand what you're all going through and what you're going to be going through. So just a little bit of background for the agenda side of things. Leveraging the center to change the education ecosystem. So for the agenda for today, we're going to talk a little bit about the history, our academics and our center. We're going to talk about our pipeline system that we call it, which will result in high schools, community alumni, college students, and then we'll finish it with the future of what we have going. So to start, our history. Just as a little background, we are from St. Louis, Missouri. We are the heart of the Midwest. We are the gateway to the Midwest. We're known for our St. Louis Arch, big old thing right on the river. We're also known for our St. Louis Cardinals baseball team, which are actually in the World Series right now, so if you love them, hate them, if you don't even know, we're rooting right now, staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning to start watching the games back home. But we are known for the Arch and for the Cardinals, but we're also known for entrepreneurship. Since we were the gateway to the West, every crazy person that wanted to start a business in California or anywhere west of the Mississippi came through St. Louis. So that's where our origins came from. So we were born and raised as entrepreneurs in a way, but we also got away from our roots as all the folks that came through continued on into the West. For St. Louis University, we began St. Louis University in 1818. We are the oldest university west of the Mississippi. Our business school was started in 1910. So now on to how we go about things. For St. Louis University, we are firm believers in 2 things to create an entire comprehensive entrepreneurial education system. 1 is the academics, and 2 is the Center for Entrepreneurship. So I'm going to talk a little bit about 1 and then a lot deeper on the center. So for our entrepreneurship academic side, we teach entrepreneurship in all schools: business, law, engineering, medical, nursing, so on and so forth. With that has come kind of a rich tradition. What I'm going to put up, I'm not trying to brag, I'm just trying to set a foundation because it'll explain, again, me, 7 businesses in 10 years, not all of them running. Us, St. Louis University, not always goes perfectly, but we want to be able to provide the foundation. So we celebrate our 40th anniversary of teaching entrepreneurship. We started teaching in 1973. Our godfather of entrepreneurship was a gentleman by the name of Bob Brockhouse, and he's one of the reasons why I went back to SLU. This year marks our 21st straight year being ranked in the top 25. We pride ourselves again because, 1, we are in the heart of the Midwest. 2, you all have never heard of St. Louis University. We pride ourselves because our goal is how to develop better entrepreneurs, how to put a better product into our region or into our country, or obviously international and global. Okay? With that being said, our 40th anniversary. So Dr. Bob Brockhouse, what he ended up doing was saying a couple things. 1 is, we need to be able to teach our students how to be better entrepreneurs. We want you to be engineers. We want you to be in business, law, nursing, medical, whatever field. But you need to be able to think like an entrepreneur. And that has evolved over the 40 years. This year we're proud. Our engineering program with Dr. Condor has actually been awarded a very prestigious award. And that is the Edison Award. And that is for innovation, creativity. And it's a very powerful award from where we come from. And again, for engineering, we're a lot newer at this whole thing of entrepreneurship. So it's a very powerful thing. So now let's talk about the center. Okay? Again, I'm just trying to set a foundation. This year, we are celebrating our 26th anniversary for our center. So we were created in 1987 by, again, Dr. Bob Brockhouse, who said, you know what? We need something outside of the university. We need to be the liaison between the community and the university so that our students, our faculty, our staff have a better idea of what's going on the outside. Because if we're pushing out students in that capacity to be the next generation entrepreneurs, they better already understand what that outside looks like. And so for us, We are celebrating our 26th anniversary. We were the 22nd center ever created in the United States, or for that matter in the world, and we are awarded the NASDAQ Center of Entrepreneurial Excellence. Again, foundation. And the foundation is this. Not everything always looks great. Those are great statistics, great facts and figures. But in reality, I was invited in 2 years ago. And I was invited in to oversee the Center for Entrepreneurship as we were about ready to embark on our 25th anniversary. And what I was challenged with was, burn it to the ground, start over. How do you recreate something? We've been around for 25 years, but how does it evolve? What do we look like? Have we really hit what the community is looking for? So on and so forth. And so with that being said, we had 45 programs that we were running out of the center. Again, the liaison between the community and the university. Many of them were inefficient. Many of them were unsustainable. They were in the red. So from a businessman's perspective, you have to be able to cut, or you have to be able to figure out how to do it better. Our business school, we were so focused on that. We had left behind everybody else, engineering, law, nursing, medical, so on and so forth. And so that became not a strength, but actually a weakness. What we were realizing was the vast majority of entrepreneurial endeavors are coming outside of the business school. So why are we so focused inside of the business school? As a center, we tried to own everything. Our goal was, if we're going to be running a program, we're going to own it. That doesn't work anymore. It is better to partner with people that have expertise and strengths in other areas that then help you leverage your brand. And so as you all are expanding, consider partnerships across the board. It'll be a lot easier as you expand your global brand. And then there was a disconnect between the university and the community. When I was brought in, the first thing I did over the first 6 months, I had 500 coffee meetings. I don't drink coffee. I was very liquefied. It was a rough 6 months. But what the goal was to meet with as many people as we could. All of the stakeholders. Stakeholders being our students, our faculty, the outside community members, investors, anybody and everybody part of the ecosystem. And it was to find out, you know what, if we were going to burn that center to the ground, how are we going to rebuild it? What would it look like? Why are we really here? If we're going to open up tomorrow, what are we really going to be doing? And then that led us to the last one. We really didn't have a vision. We didn't have a mission. We didn't have a direction. It had kind of evolved over time. And so what we did was this. So in a way, we're starting from ground zero only about 2 years ago. So in a way, I kind of look at what you're all creating, and we were kind of there. We do have history. We do have tradition, but we are still starting from scratch. So our new vision that we ended up finding, not developed by us, it's like anything else, it's always developed by your customer. Our new vision was reimagining through entrepreneurship. It was reimagining St. Louis universities and the schools within. It was reimagining St. Louis as a whole, and it was reimagining the region. In other words, we love our big companies. We have several Fortune 50 companies sitting in St. Louis. But if they go away, who's going to be the next Fortune 50 company? We have to be preparing for it today, not tomorrow, not another week from now. Because again, as we've heard so much, you have a finite resource. We had a finite resource. And our goal was that we couldn't let that finite resource go to the wayside, and then we lose a generation. In addition, our new mission was, we don't care what your entrepreneurial definition is. If you come to us as an entrepreneur, we're going to take you in. We're literally like the United States. We'll take the huddled masses. And our goal is we will help you build your business. If you want to start a business, if you want to buy a business, if you want to grow a business, we will help you through education, networking, and mentoring. What that allowed us to do was eliminate so many programs because we were so dysfunctional. We were so all over the board. And so with that, our pipeline. We also created a whole new system. What we ended up saying was, hey, that's great. We'll take any entrepreneur, but what kind of entrepreneurs are we talking about? And so we created what we called our pipeline. And our pipeline is, we will start with our high school students, our young kids. We'll move into the college student side, and then we'll move into the community and alumni. And you'll notice that it's two-way arrows. I like to refer to it as actually our bucket system. Every bucket has to flow into the other bucket, both forward and backward. If it doesn't, then we start eliminating programs. And the goal for that is, therefore, we can get internship opportunities, mentors. We can do a lot with the younger generations, but also the younger generations are bringing a lot to the table for the older generations. And so with that, our high school pipeline, or our pipeline bucket, high school system side of things, our goal was not, we don't want to create entrepreneurs out of our high school kids. We would love to. And we are always looking for those diamond in the roughs. But in essence, what we're trying to do is just educate them on what is entrepreneurship, what's it about, how do you get started. And then we move you into the college setting. Again, I represent St. Louis University, but I represent our region even more. So if you decide to come to SLU to take advantage of our entrepreneurship education, awesome. If you decide to go to one of the other universities, awesome. We will help you. Our goal is to help the region. And so with that, our college students, we leverage our education and we allow them to learn and expand on their business opportunities and their entrepreneurial dreams. And then for the community and alumni, our goal was leverage the internal and external resources to allow those community members that are starting their businesses, whether it's through education, networking, and mentoring. So again, bucket system, flowing backwards and forwards, utilizing our internal resources and our external resources in a very open environment. So let's talk high school. So what I'd like to do now is come down to a more granular level and kind of talk about a couple of the programs we have running at the high school, college, and community level. And the reason is we have a lot of different programs, but it'll just kind of give you a sense. We talk about, and what we've heard so far, mitigating risk and failure, be able to embrace it. And so we want to start at that high school level, to be able to let them understand that, you know what, we are not risk takers. Again, entrepreneurs, unfortunately serial, keep falling off the bandwagon. But what ends up occurring is this: I am not a complete risk taker. You will not find me at casinos betting all my money. What you will find me doing is trying to figure out how to bring the level of risk down to a level that I'm comfortable with to then jump in and start my business. So for the high school side, we discovered, and this is slang, we discovered in our teen entrepreneurs, they didn't like to call it entrepreneurship, so if you take the middle letters of entrepreneurship, TREP is right in the middle. So we created a new program called TREP Start Day, where we invited any high school kid, in this case 1,000 kids come per year, to just listen to one keynote address speaker. This year, which is actually only about 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Jim McKelvey. Jim McKelvey is the co-founder of a company called Square. Not sure if you're familiar with Square, but Square is the credit card transaction on the end of your iPads. So in the United States, it is going like crazy with food trucks and all sorts of vendors, things that you no longer need that big credit card bulky machine. You can be doing it on the fly. So we brought Jim in to talk with 1,000 kids from every walk of life. And all he did was proceed to tell them about his story. So that's one. Two, we flew in 15 nationally recognized teen entrepreneurs. I call them our rock stars. These kids are insane. The youngest is 12 years old. 12 years old, has her own cooking show on Nickelodeon, and her salad dressing is sold in every Whole Foods, which is a high-end food grocery store around the nation. At 12 years old. Actually, it made me feel like I don't know what I've been doing with my life. But what our goal was to start to expose them not only to just entrepreneurship, but here are role models at your same age. And that's what we created with TREP Start Day 2013. We have now also created another group called Chasing the Sun, another event that will actually be going live in the next 3 weeks, I believe. Chasing the Sun is this. It is great that these high school kids have ideas, but let's help them identify and develop their pitch to find out if it's more feasible. And so what we will do, St. Louis will have 5 hours to be able to develop an idea and develop a pitch, which will then be transferred or handed over to Hawaii. Hawaii to, I believe, now I'm going to end up, there's 3 other countries running with this thing. And so in essence, the goal was in a 24-hour period, 5 different countries of teen entrepreneurs are going to be touching this idea pitch. None of them will have owned their own businesses. They're all just learning about entrepreneurship. Ignition Weekend is really about, hey, if you've got an idea, come on in for a weekend. Consider it a startup weekend. In conjunction with our engineering program, you'll be able to walk out with a prototype and actually what we call a Kickstarter campaign, crowd-funded kind of program that is running. So you'll have a video on how to create your idea. And the last one is, we teach the teachers. So that's great what we're doing with high school students, but we want to better educate the high school teachers as well, because it always starts with our teachers. And so the goal isn't to walk them through, here's what we're doing. It's more just to bring them together and let them learn from each other. And so we hold this every other month and allow the teachers to come in, allow the teachers to experience what we're going through, and allow them to bring their students to other programs that we have. So that's on the high school. On our community and alum, because I'm going to skip the college for right now, because that's where it's all pulls full circle. So our community and alumni, the 2 that I really wanted to hit. We are somewhat unique. Angel investing. So we have wealthy individuals that have either got family wealth, they may be recently retired, they may have sold businesses, successful entrepreneurs, but they want to give back to that next generation and truly invest in a business. And so Dr. Katz, who is here as well, ended up creating the Billiken Angel Network, which is a group of 30-plus angel investors that are going to invest in any type of business, any industry, and any stage. And the goal is this: if they invest as individuals, St. Louis University, the next day, will write a matching dollar-for-dollar check to finish that round out. We'll pull it from our endowment with no negotiation and no due diligence. We'll stand behind what those investors are saying. If they're putting their hard-earned money down into these opportunities with students, community members, anybody, then we should jump in as well. And a lot of it was because of the foresight of Dr. Katz to be able to say, you know what, we're putting out a lot of great entrepreneurial students that are starting their own businesses, so we better put our money where our mouth is. We better be able to invest in these if we are going to actually say that we have great students that are coming out of the program. And the second one is our Institute for Private Business, and that is this, that we have a lot of family businesses, multi-generational in St. Louis. So the goal was to pull them together to help them better understand their own issues internally and help them grow. And so it is a peer-to-peer kind of group. So again, our goal was, if you look at the mitigating risk, we are looking at eliminating as much risk as possible. How do I move to the next generation? How do I tell my son that he is not going to be the CEO of the company in this next generation? How do I tell my family that we're going to be selling the business because that's the best course of action? It is not for us to say, it's for us to bring the groups together to be able to help them. So what you're seeing is we become a hub rather than owning of things. So now for the college that we'll spend the rest of the time. And that is this. For our college students, we do a lot. They're in the middle of that pipeline. So you have the high school, you have the community, and you have the college sitting right in the middle. And so our goal was this. For the high school kids, these college kids become mentors. They become big brothers. For the community, they become interns. They become employees. They come in with an entrepreneurial mindset. They come in with creativity that maybe has been lacking in some of the larger companies. And so we created a thing called the Weekly Innovation Challenge, which again from Dr. Condor's side of things with engineering is a tremendous program. It is once a week, 1 hour a week. We invite in students from across campus. The teams that are put together cannot be part of the same school. So you can't have 3 engineers together. You have to have engineer, doctor, lawyer, whatever. They have to come together. So therefore, you're also learning how to interact with the different groups. Everybody has a different mindset. Everybody looks at things a little bit differently. So let's bring all of them together. And in that challenge, for 1 hour, they are given an opportunity to be able to create something. And that something could be, and it actually changes every single week, but my favorite one is each table of 3 students is given, in this case, uncooked spaghetti and marshmallows. And they are told in the next hour, build the tallest tower. Don't care how you do it, but it's got to be stable, and it has got to be done in an hour. The winner will end up winning cash prizes. And so everybody moves towards it. And what you find is that all of a sudden, who was a doctor, who was going to be a lawyer, who was going to be a business student or whatever, suddenly breaks down, and you get back to the one-on-one person. And how do you communicate with that person? There's business terms. We can't use business terms. There's engineering terms. Can't use that. So you have to bring it down to the base. And the base is communication. And the base is also, you know what, we are going to fail. And that's okay. You may not win this one, but you will understand, you will learn. And that is the ultimate goal of everything that we do. So when we talk about this whole idea of fear of failure, we all fail. And what we try doing is instilling in our students that it's going to happen in life no matter what. But what do you learn from it? What do you take and you move forward? Which is why one of our most popular college classes is failing forward. How do you take it and move forward? So, let's see. We decided, elevator pitch. Not sure if that's a familiar term. Elevator pitch is if I were stuck on an elevator with a senior executive and I only had about 30, 40 seconds, what would I say? Not to sell them, but to actually just get more time. How do I schedule a lunch? How do I get more information from them? So it's that 30 to 40 second window. Almost every elevator pitch competition is run this way, in a classroom, in a big auditorium with the pitch right in the front and everybody listening to pitch. We decided to say, you know what, that's not good enough for us. So we decided to put real pitches in real elevators, the tallest building in Missouri, 40 floors. We threw them on elevators with real investors. 25 investors, net worth of almost $1 billion. And we said, floor 40, now pitch. The doors close and they start. And as soon as they get to the 40th floor, doors open and you are done. You are kicked off. But you move to another elevator and you pitch going back down. Over, up, over, down. I was afraid everybody was going to get sick. It was too many elevator rides. But the goal was this. It was to allow them to actually experience real life with real life. Out of that ended up coming all these great ideas. That suddenly all these students that were just thinking, this is a great idea, turned into, is it a great business opportunity? Also turned into these judges allowing them to see, you know what, I would invest in something like that if you were to do this or this. And so suddenly we had this natural mentoring, mentee role starting. We had this natural teaching moment starting. And it was all because you're shoved into an elevator for 40 seconds. And the other one we have is the business plan competition. And that one every university does. Our goal for ours was, we have the Billiken Angel Network. And the Billiken Angel Network is set up to invest in businesses. So we want to see the best of the best. The business plans, and we've heard it, and actually I really like how you described it, Michael. The business plan is essential, but it's a process. It is not the end-all be-all. You cannot hold on to that business plan and that's going to be it. It allows you to see all the ups and downs of what you're about ready to do. It is the planning process. Once you start your business, or as you're starting your business, move not necessarily away from it, but use it as only a guide and let you to keep on moving with it. And so we have our business plan competition, but we've also now changed that up as well, which I'll get to. Before I do, I want to talk a little bit, just for a few, on our clubs. This from a university setting. Again, we are a center, right? So we're internal, external. So our goal was to create these clubs, and a lot of these clubs have been going for quite some time, but we all just pulled them underneath one umbrella. And that is this. The goals are give you a taste of entrepreneurship, allow you to better understand how to mitigate risk, start your businesses, just do it. I mean, in essence, what we are telling you is you don't have to be completely educated in this field, just jump in. Let's see where it takes us. It's help others start their business. What we also had to get away from was every one of our students said they wanted to be entrepreneurs. They all want to start their own business. Well, guess what? Not everybody can start their own business. Some are going to be great entrepreneurs working with other entrepreneurs and creating teams of entrepreneurs. And that is a very key focus for us, which is it is very hard to be a one-off entrepreneur. You will always need a team to surround you. So if you can bring a team together of other entrepreneurs around your vision, even better. So our goal is, hey, we'll help you start your business, but we'll also help you help others start their businesses. And then seek mentorship and give mentorship. And the final is network with investors. So that was the goal for our clubs. And our clubs started to look like this. We have the iScholars. And the iScholars are under Dr. Condor, out of the engineering program. And those are innovation scholars that become our evangelists. They will go across campus and basically talk about entrepreneurship with every different department, all different students. And that is the goal. Get us out of just business. Get us out of just engineering. But also bring it back to business. Bring it back to engineering. Again, every business needs multiple team members from all sorts of different facets of business. Engineer, nursing, medical, law, so on and so forth. And so the iScholars are our evangelists. Our CEO Club is our collegiate entrepreneurship organization. And what they do is they start to pull together those that are interested in building their businesses. How do we do it now? How do we pull in that business sense? How do we start to put business models around it? And so again, they are creating functions and events around that core area. Okay? Now CEO is a global organization. So it's not like we created this ourselves. iScholars, I believe, are also a global organization as well. So our goal was, we're not just going to own this. Our diamond in the rough was this. We realized a couple years ago, actually a lot longer, we have business owners right now as students. What are we doing to help them? We don't need to educate them. We do. We need to educate them. But we don't need to start them at ground zero. They're already running their businesses. So our diamond in the roughs are existing business owners that are SLU students that we meet every other week. We find out what services they need, and we provide it. It is as simple as that. We started out 2 semesters ago. I think we started with 6 students, 6 student businesses that we were able to identify. We are now, as of today, up to 58. They are existing business owners that are underground. Our goal was just to listen, find out where they're at. And then the last one is the Coleman and Keene Faculty Fellows. And this falls under Dr. Katz and Dr. Condor. And that is faculty members that are paid to help spread the entrepreneurship message. How do you develop more classes in nutrition dietetics, in law, in engineering, over on the medical campus, and all around? And so we bring in faculty members that are great in their areas, and we help them better understand the entrepreneurship mindset and how to help them develop the class structures. So what does our future look like? These are the 2 that I just wanted to hit on, because we keep evolving, okay? We came from 45, we narrowed it down to 9 programs, 9 platforms that we call them. And now what we've started to do is keep building what is cool. So our business plan competition is now also going to be converted into, it will be business plan, but a streamlined business plan competition called Pitch and Catch. Again, we have the St. Louis Cardinals, baseball. We're fanatical about it. We have Busch Stadium. Why not invite our students who are actually great business opportunity, business ideas, invite them down with a streamlined business plan, 150 characters or less, Twitter-based. Each section, 150 characters. The top 15 we invite to Busch Stadium. They will pitch from the pitcher's mound with their presentation up on the Diamond Vision, all the lights on in the entire 42,000 seat stadium, and the only people in there are the students who are pitching, their parents, faculty, mentors, and at home plate to catch their pitch will be all 32 Billiken Angel Network members. The goal is do it different, do it a little bit odd, but be able to pull together people in all sorts of different areas so that they better understand from an entrepreneurial mindset and entrepreneurial skill set how it continues to move forward. And the last one is this. We also realize, again, we're business, we're engineering. Why don't we create a program called the Entrepreneurship Diplomate? And the Diplomate is, legally, the Center for Entrepreneurship cannot offer a diploma, and we cannot offer a certificate. So we put the words together to create the Diplomate. And the Diplomate is a non-credit certificate for non-business students to be able to understand skill sets. Online workshops, 5 to 10 minutes long, that will allow you to better understand individual entrepreneurial skill sets and life skills. In addition, we have all these speakers. For our academic programs, just for the business school, we'll bring in over 300 entrepreneurs a year to be guest speakers, judges, or mentors, which means we only have 125 undergraduate entrepreneurship majors. It's a 3-to-1 ratio of speakers, entrepreneurs, to our students. And so that is our Center for Entrepreneurship. Our goal was, how do we leverage the center to start changing the education ecosystem? And this is, in a way, how we're doing it. But there are so many other ideas. There are so many other things that are going on. We're always open. We are always looking at best practices. So if you have others, please feel free. Let us know, because this is a global effort. We talk about entrepreneurs in St. Louis and in our region, but our goal is it's a global environment. One of our adjunct professors has just moved on over to Saudi Arabia to join Saudi Aramco in their entrepreneurial group. Trey Gady, yep. And so it is tremendous. That is what our ultimate goal is to help everybody from that entrepreneurial side of things. So I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.